Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of 7 with Kevin Live. I'm Kevin Maynard. I'm the Executive Director of Quad City Arts, where our mission is to enrich the quality of life in the Quad City region through the arts. Now, to do this, we have the pleasure of working with hundreds of artists throughout the year. We also have the added bonus of getting to know these artists and to learn more about them and their artwork. And that is what 7 with Kevin Live is all about, because we want to share that experience with you. Now, if you're tuning in live and you have a question, go ahead and put that in the comment section. Tuning in live but don't have a question? Tonight, I'd like to know what your favorite piece of public art in the Quad Cities is, because you might just so have a new one. Today has been an exciting day. A new mural was installed in Moline. It is on the Spiegel Building, which is located on River Drive, right between the old and new I-74 bridges. The Spiegel Building is an old factory from Moline's industrial area, and Renew Moline wanted to highlight and draw attention to the Spiegel Building for redevelopment. To some, it has been nothing more than a building that is no longer in use on River Drive, but it has the potential to be so much more than a vacant factory. So Renew Moline wanted to highlight that potential, and they partnered with Quad City Arts to assist them on creating a call for entry for a new piece of public art. And tonight, we're going to talk with the artist behind that new work of art. The artist is Quad City native Brandon Nees. Brandon, welcome to 7 with Kevin Live.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you. Brandon, before we get started, I am so curious, how are you feeling after the installation today?
I feel it's weird. I think after being in the studio for so long and putting so much time in it, it felt weird to just be able to go outside and be around other people and just to even interact in that way. So I'm still taking it in. We drove past the mural a little bit earlier, coming out to 74, and I think that's when it hit me, like, wow, seeing it from back there it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a big and impressive piece. So before we show that to everyone, how long did it take you from start to finish in your studio to paint all of it?
I'll probably say a good solid month. And if I were to count up the hours of working time within that, I would probably say a good 75% of that month was spent on being in the studio working, but I still got to go through and calculate how many hours. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, a lot of time. So.
I bet. And we have a couple photos here of the final product. I'd like to just go ahead and show everybody that. So this is the Spiegel Building, which I mentioned was on River Drive. And Brandon, do you want to talk a little bit about the piece, the different things that you incorporated into that?
Yeah, definitely. So with the piece, it was just a really nice feeling to have a little bit of like creative freedom. So I wanted to get kind of crazy with it, but not too crazy with the detail, because I realized that I don't want to cause like traffic jams and people trying to zoom in and see it. They can see it from afar. So that's the reason the letters are so big. But the letters to the possibility, I wanted to make them big and blocky and just massive, just to kind of symbolize like a foundation. And then the guys next to them, they're kind of making these shapes float in between them and around them, just to symbolize weightlessness. The shapes floating between them just kind of are the building blocks of life, like the pyramid, the sphere, the cube. So just kind of the basic shapes that I've used and I've gotten used to drawing, I've kind of worked into my style. And then the man on the end, I put the headdress on him to represent like leadership, in a way power, but then I wanted to, instead of use the like the war trinkets and the eagle feathers they're usually on there, I put the floral in there to represent like a peaceful kind of manner. And just his body language, I wanted it to be real like peaceful yet magical. yet still stern in a way. So the kind of, yeah, it's crazy looking. I'm really impressed with it. I'm really happy with it. But yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just.
I think one of the things I'd like to point out for people who haven't driven past that yet is that image that we just looked at is I want to think it's like just shy of what is about 8 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean it's pretty big, and obviously it spans the entire length of the building there. Brandon, I every time I see it, I'm just so impressed with the way that everything turned out. So I was curious if there was any, what was the thought process behind the color choice for this? I mean, was there any specific reasons that you chose the different shades of blue and maybe the pink for the guys on either side?
Right. The main blue on the front of the letters, is the contrasting color for that brick.
Mm.
And through my art, I like to kind of just keep in mind that colors have a way of attracting attention and making you feel a certain way. So, I wanted it to pop more against that brick, and then kind of too, it's close to the river. So just with like the blues and the greens, you kind of already get the feel in the background for the river by the bridge. So the tan on the bottom and the dark blue, I kind of just honestly, I think they just look really well together. And in a way, it kind of reminds me of like a night scene of, the light brown kind of represents the ground, and then the dark blue in the top back is almost like the nighttime. And then the pink on the man, I didn't want to go through and shade like the legs and the face and then do realistic skin colors. I wanted to kind of still make them cartoony in a way to match the kind of more like vivid letters. So I chose the pink to just make it pop, just throw a little bit more pop in there. So I think it contrasted just like perfectly.
Yeah, I definitely will say that when pointing out that blue contrasted that brick, that actually is very true, because I remember pulling up to River Drive like after it had already been installed, and you can see that thing from blocks away. It really does like pop off that brick. So that's really, really quite incredible. So how does it feel? I mean, what does it feel like to be driving on River Drive and see some of your artwork in a very public atmosphere?
It's like like I said, it's right now it's early. I think it's just gonna continually hit me. I think I might get to a day where like my son's 3 now and he's just starting to talk. So I think the day when he's like, "Dad, look at that," and then I get to tell him like I did that. Like I think that's when it's really gonna hit me. But
Yeah, I imagine that once you have a moment to rest and catch up on the sleep from the last month, it might hit as well.
Yeah,
Excellent.
definitely.
Excellent. Well, Brandon, it's really a really an incredible piece of work. So thank you for all that hard work, and for being able to highlight a building like the Spiegel Building. So I want to talk more about you and get to know you a little bit better. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You mentioned that you've got a 3-year-old son, and so yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up in Moline. Just throughout my teen years, have kind of moved around all the Quad Cities. Right now, I'm in Davenport, downtown Davenport. So I'm 25. I have a 3-year-old son. His name is Maxwell. I have a beautiful fiance, Nancy, and we've been together for 9 years now. So it's nice. I'm transitioning into like more of like a family man and kind of making that growth. And so I'm really changing from who I like was in high school and stuff. So I'm still kind of figuring out who I am in a way. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm getting way more serious with the art, in terms of like just long-term thinking. That gets to the point where you want to just do little drawings for yourself and stuff, but you don't consider on how it's going to feed your family or, so Yeah, I just aspiring artist, a hungry artist. Yeah.
Well, excellent. So speaking of your artwork, how did you get started? Like, what was your first kind of yeah? What was the first thing you started doing in the art world? Was that through school or just on your own at home? Or
I was contemplating about this the other day. I think when I was in third grade, I had a foreign exchange student come, and his name was Tyreni, and I remember he used to draw Dragon Ball Z characters really good, and he just did everything good, and I was just like captivated by how he just drew these, and I honestly think that was the moment that sparked in my brain that I liked art.
Hmm.
And then ever since then in elementary school, I would just, doodle. Middle school, I would doodle. I got really into graffiti at a young age and just like was blown away by all that. And so that kind of inspired me. But I think once I really started to take it seriously was about 6 years ago. Um, yeah, about 6 years ago, I believe. Here now, I have my first art show at the Stardog Art
Hmm.
Gallery. I'm sorry, that was like 4 years ago, 6 years, at the Stardog Art Gallery downtown Davenport, and just seeing everybody and having that feel of having your own art gallery,
Hmm.
and just even like making any kind of money off something that I just created out of my mind, it showed me that it's like there's so many more ways to go with this. So ever since then, I just been just steady with the art. So.
Excellent. So what inspired you to do your first show? I mean, did you was there somebody that encouraged you to do that, or just saw an opportunity?
I think it's just because I'm such a big fan of like fashion and music and how they brand themselves.
Hmm.
Like if you were to look at t-shirts and see one really cool t-shirt, but it's like a Stussy t-shirt, and you know that they have way more designs, but it's all under one brand. I think that idea is what made me take everything that I was drawing and stuck and drawing and incorporate it into like who I am today and kind of push that out to people. So I maybe it's music and fashion was what kind of inspired me to really take my art seriously.
Excellent. Um, have you always worked with paint as your medium? Or are you do you do any other any other do you work with any other mediums?
Yeah, I just started with pencil and paper, and um, eventually, yeah, went on to the acrylic on canvas, and then I've ever since then I've just been, especially recently, I've been really wanting to get more into doing maybe sculptures or woodworking and getting into rugs, but I've recently gotten to digital art, which has been, I can't believe I haven't done. I wish I would have done that like 4 or 5 years ago. Honestly, to any artist out there, if you want to do anything, I highly suggest getting an iPad, doing Procreate or Photoshop, or find a way to take your art and digitalize it, and you'll just see so much more possibilities with your creativity. And so that has just been a crazy tool. Like I wouldn't have been able to do this whole mural had it not been for me drafting and designing the
Hmm.
um, design on my iPad. So it's I wouldn't like to fully go digital because I still like the whole getting a canvas and having it be you're touching what they touched. Uh, but I would just like to incorporate that all kind of into one. So
Excellent. So are you using like the Photoshop and different applications to kind of create that design and then transfer it when and then you physically transfer it to that, or is it kind of or what exactly are you using that for? I find that interesting.
so the Procreate app is which is what was more I'm on Procreate. The
Hmm.
Photoshop I know a little bit of Photoshop, but Procreate's the main one. It's pretty much just an easier way to like draw and to layer your stuff so you
Hmm.
can fix things and just kind of like it just makes it so much easier. And so what I ended up doing was the design that I had, I put the boards up and I put a bunch of doodles all over the board, just random doodles, which really helped me like get more fluid. And then I took a picture of the board and the doodles, and I placed the image that I had designed on my iPad over that and turned the opacity down. So I knew that, okay, up here by the smiley face, this is where the top of the eye goes, you know, and then just, like I said, it made it so much easier, because had I not had that, I would have had to draw a grid out on everyone or just freehand it, and it would have maybe looked different from what my original idea
Wow.
was.
Brandon, that's an incredibly clever way to do that. I mean, because obviously, I think one of the things that we're always taught in schools, and the way a lot of artists do, is that grid system. It also answers one of my questions, because I think it was on your social media that I had seen, a completely white background, and then just kind of some random images, and then obviously those were painted over, and I was so curious as to why and like kind of what purpose that served. But
Right.
that's really, really interesting. I don't think I would have ever thought to use that application like that. So
Yeah.
well done.
Thank you. Thank you. It
um,
was my first time using the doodle grid, because I was trying to grid it out, and I just had so much issues with the measurements, and started Googling stuff. I'm like, why am I doing this? And the doodle grid I highly suggest it for anybody that wants to do any kind of big work.
Interesting.
Doodle grid.
So real quick, so is this is new to me. So is Doodle Grid, is that something that what artists is that something that artists do, or is that something that you sort of created?
Um, I mean, it's kind of, in a way, you kind of take it as your
Mm.
own, because certain people do it different ways. It's kind of a newer method that's working its way through the art world
Huh.
right now. So, um, really, I found it because I watch a lot of other artists that do murals on YouTube. And so I believe it was an artist named what was his name? 1000. Yeah, 1000. He put a video out, and he was just saying about how, like, the doodle grid just changed his life. So I gave it a try, and he was right. It worked. It worked really well. So
Cool. That is, yeah, that's really interesting. So yeah, I also want to talk about another thing. So right now you are joining us from your studio where you create your work, correct?
yeah.
I have to give big props to you, because I helped you load in the last three panels, and I did not realize that your studio was on the third floor. So not only did you spend all that time creating, all that great artwork, but you also had to take that up and down 3 flights of stairs, and I believe that there's a 21 panels total. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, this morning, I had woke up at like 5, and I'm like, all right, we gotta get going. And so I was carrying like two at a time down the stairs, trying to get it done, and it was a hassle, but it was worth it. Kind of in the middle of doing it, I came to this weird realization, because I've worked construction for so long and just been in the labor business for so
Mhm.
long besides art. And I just kept thinking in my head, like, why am I complaining about moving these panels when, if my boss were to ask me to, hey, go over those, move those metal panels, I'm right on it, like it's nothing. So it's like, now that I'm doing it for myself, I had to come to this realization that, why are you so willing to do that for somebody else
Mm.
instead of yourself? And so, as an artist, like, that just is a nice, like, feeling. That made me, like, I didn't even care about taking the panels. My arms were so sore, but I was like, dude, it's just so worth it.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. So there is something that I don't know if it's, I guess you'd call it your brand. Um, it translates to kill thrones. If you want to talk about that a little bit,
yeah. So in high school, I was a kind of a class clown. I guess I was just really kind of lost in a way. I mean,
Mhm.
I was just lost. I don't know. I feel like I had a really big ego. I feel like um, I just seen myself in a way that, once I got out into the real world when I turned 18, it completely just almost crushes where you were in high school sometimes. And so when I turned 18, I got my own apartment. I was just by myself, and I just came to this realization that I have this huge ego, and it's not doing anything for me sitting here by myself. Just so that's kind of where I started my journey into just, like, more consciousness, and kind of dealing with that ego and in a way trying to like kill it in me and rebuild myself. And so I really try to portray that in my art. You know, I like for people to look at my art and feel somewhat of a mental connection. And I feel like, and also the word kill, I translated it into Matar Tronos for a couple reasons. Just one, because the word kill is not a very good marketing word. Just like the colors, there's certain words that you also do and you don't want to use. And my fiance is from Chapala, Mexico. So she's just been, the whole time I've been with her, I've just been learning, picking up on Spanish and just being around Spanish culture. And when I translated it, it just sounded so unique and just so cool. And so I went with it, and it's just been there ever since. And I've probably had that kind of persona for the past at least 4 or 5 years now. So
yeah, I really like the aspect of it that it's an internal mantra that, you know, for you it sounds like, you know, it kind of translates to that, you know, creating a better Brandon for you. And I think that's really, it's really incredible. And I also will say that it was really nice seeing it on that mural, as we just showed. Like it creates a really nice brand there. So very well done. You know, we had talked a little bit earlier about your inspirations. You said kind of clothing and music. Is there anything like you know, sort of like specific? Is there a certain like brand or musician that really helps fuel that within you?
I feel like visually and consciously, there is an artist, and I don't know if you ever heard of the band Tool. But their art is just the art, the music, the visuals. They all are stemming, and you see it, you hear it, and you know what it is. You know, and it's all kind of stemmed around just consciousness and waking up the consciousness in your body, and kind of showing you like a lot of his art. I can't think of his name right now.
Maynard,
Something.
James Maynard Keenan. James Maynard. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of the artist who does his art is something gray. But a lot of his art is just, it shows a lot of the human anatomy, kind of not in so much of a like a physical medical way, but more in like a spiritual way, and how we're kind of giving off vibrations in the world, and just it's just kind of beautiful, and kind of I like that aspect and how he adds the whole mental thing behind that. So, and also mental health, man. It's just a lot of people that do art now. I understand it's a lane in a way, but the kind of art where, you know, the Supreme box logo art and me wanting, or just like the Nike Jordan arts. I'm not hating on it. It's just, I feel like some people will do art to please a crowd of people, or to kind of go with the fad that's here now. And I want my art to last forever, and the people to find a deeper meaning within it. So I try to make everything unique, try to make everything really, in a way, symbolistic without being too, without being too deep. So.
So you said, sorry, you started that with mental health, as in like, would you, so are you saying that art is an outlet for you in that sense as well?
Yeah, definitely is just a really unique way to put my thoughts down in a way that's not writing. You know, I always, my therapist would always tell me to write, and I'm just so self-conscious that I don't want to read it back and then think like, what was I thinking, and critique myself on the grammar. And so this is the way for me to do that, like in a fun way that's vivid and creative, that just helps me kind of cope with some of the things going on. But I would definitely like to shout out mental health for a lot of inspiration for my art. definitely.
Excellent. Well, I love that because one of the things that we constantly tout here and talk about at Quad City Arts is just the power of art, and just the fact of like creating art does a lot for mental health and just a lot for being able to, kind of put those feelings out onto the page or the canvas or whatever. So I think that's an important message for more people to hear. And to know that, obviously, Brandon, you're doing art on a grand scale, and you've done some shows, but just the act of doodling is great, and good for that.
I appreciate it.
So,
thank you.
So I'm pretty curious. I've been a little distracted. I can't lie. So what is your cat's name? So just noticed.
Yeah, this is Luna. This is my bestie. I just started bringing her to the studio actually, and it's been really nice. Like, it gets a little creepy in here sometimes when it's like 4 a.m. and no one's out. You feel like you're the only one alive. So she just keeps me. It's more like an anxiety kind of thing, almost like a service pet in a way. So
yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, seems very comfortable and at home. So
yeah, she's a lot of fun. So.
Excellent, Brandon. I think we have some images of some of your artwork that prior to obviously the Spiegel Building mural that I'd like to kind of showcase and highlight. We've also some of that can be seen in the in your studio. You've got some great artwork there. I was able to enjoy while I was able to visit. Really, what I'm also getting at to this point is where can people learn more about your art? Is there a place that it's currently on display, or do you have future plans, or just kind of anything? I want to be able to let people know where to find Brandon.
Right. So right now, with my social medias, I definitely plan on boosting that up more. We have the Matar Tronos Facebook page that just published recently. We have the Matar Tronos Instagram page, the Matar Tronos website, which we're working on getting up and running right now. And then my plans for future art galleries. There's a awesome art gallery downtown Davenport called the Star Dog, and that's the ones I was saying about how they've given me. Regan Hatfield, the owner of that, actually is the one to kind of give me my opportunity through like being a real artist and selling art. And so I just, every time I put my art up, it's usually down there at the Star Dog. So if I do anything, if all this COVID stuff kind of slows down, I'm definitely planning on doing a show down here. So
excellent. Well, I will give a shameless plug to Quad City Arts. We have a call that's live on our website that I would encourage you and anybody listening to apply for. Obviously, we would love to be able to showcase your work and many others in our community.
Yeah.
Brandon, you've done some really great stuff. Excellent. Can you actually where is this piece that's on our screen right now?
This day I was so anxious to do a mural, and I ended up going and buying a bunch of spray paint kind of just sporadically, and then was calling friends to see, hey, do you have any walls? And my friend Montana was like, yeah, you can do the basement. And so I went down there and just started messing around, and that came out. I forgot about that one. Wow. That was awesome seeing that. Yeah, that one was one of my favorites. But I love I kind of started going by like toucans for a minute, and that's the signature you'll see down in there. It didn't stick. It was more like a graffiti kind of thing. But so yeah, that one was just not even a commission. I didn't even want him to pay me nothing. I just wanted to create something and to put it on a wall. So that was it, and it was good practice too. So
yeah, excellent. All right. Well, Brandon, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to share? Give a special shout out to someone? I mean, anything?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to say a couple things before I leave. Just kind of considering this, definitely as this pandemic goes on, I feel like we all have to keep in mind the mental decline the economy is facing as well, and just we just need to be aware of it. I mean, I feel like be aware of yourself, your emotions. If you're having a hard time, at least try to put that out in a way, whether it's writing, art, anything to kind of get you out of sitting in your house and getting stuck in a bubble of depression or whatever you go through. Um, just please, y'all, just please take care of your mental health. Seriously, mental health. Take care of it, especially right now. Um, can't say it enough. So that's it. I wanted to give a big shout out to my fiance. Could not have done none of this without her. She has been an incredible help. Uh, Regan Hatfield, just for being a great mentor to me and just giving me help whenever I need it. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Renew Moline, for giving me this opportunity in Quad City Arts, which I'm glad that now with this opportunity that I've gotten to work with them, and I definitely will be trying to work with you guys a little bit later down the road. So I just wanted to give everybody, Mayor Akery, yeah, just thank you everybody for the opportunity and the love and support, and I appreciate it. And also thank you, Kevin, for this great interview. It was fun, very fun.
Well, Brandon, it's honestly it's been my pleasure, and getting to work with you has been really great. I will share some things with you and our audience. One of the things that I was talking with Alex at Renew Moline today, and that we were really impressed with, really just how prepared you were for today, with just everything, taped up, ready to go, mapped out, where everything went. You have been, and Alex has said numerous times that you have been incredible to work with throughout this entire project. So thank you for that. I also want you to know that you earned this. This was, we were all impressed with the design. We're impressed with the final project. So we really appreciate that. But Brandon, before I let you go, I do have one more set of questions, and that is our 7 with Kevin questions. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is kind of like our lightning round. So Brandon, what are you currently watching on Netflix, TV, or any other streaming service?
I don't watch a lot of TV, but I do watch One-on-One on Netflix. It's a good show.
All right. Brandon, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Game of Thrones. And I was like, definitely Star Wars. Their character design is way better.
Excellent. Where is the best pizza in the Quad Cities?
Ooh. It's going to be controversial. I'm going to say Casey's. Casey's Pizza. That sounds so crazy, but Casey's to me is just the best. I don't know why.
So I have to know, are we talking like just kind of their regular pizza or breakfast pizza?
No, the breakfast pizza.
Yes.
The bacon or the sausage breakfast pizza is where it's at.
Oh man, Brandon, that you have no idea how happy that makes me. I'll let you know that's a small little argument we're having in our office right now.
Oh,
I love Casey's breakfast pizza. So.
Oh man.
All right, Brandon, what's your favorite book?
The 48 Laws of Power.
Excellent. You said the 48 Laws of Power?
Yeah. Been kind of into it lately. I'm still working through it. It's a long book, so I'm doing the audio book right now, but it just has a lot of things that you want to know if you want to be kind of in a busy, serious adult world. There's a lot of tips in there that you definitely want to know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to check that out. Where is your go-to place for inspiration?
My phone. Unfortunately, my phone. I catch myself on Instagram or Pinterest just looking way too much. So
yeah, no, it can definitely be addicting. But I will say that one of those really great things about Instagram is that inspiration aspect. I mean, you have a world of artists and creators at your fingertips and even to learn from as well, which is pretty incredible. So what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I'm not a good chef, but cooking maybe. Like to cook.
Excellent. All right. Final question. If you could have a drink with any artist, living or dead, who would it be?
Ooh. I'm gonna say. I feel like I had that kind of in my mind, but I forgot his whole name and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and scratch that. I'm gonna say. It's a good question, bud. Oh man. Um, I'll probably say Jimi Hendrix.
Mm,
I just feel like in that time, just I was kind of would like to pick his brain and find out what it was like to kind of be mixed, like black and white in that time, and
mm.
also trying to be an artist and have kind of your own kind of different mind and try to fit in still and be accepted by your community. So yeah, definitely
Excellent.
probably Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be incredible. All right. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and I wish you the best of luck in the future. And yeah, thanks for all the hard work on the great mural.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you, Brandon, and thank Luna for joining us as well. All right. A big thanks to all of you watching. I would encourage you to come see Brandon's art in person on the Spiegel Building, River Drive in Moline. It is up. It is big. It's fantastic. We're really excited to be able to showcase that. Also, you can see art in person. Speaking of big pieces of art, you've probably noticed the great ones behind me. We have Jacqueline Garlock's artwork on display here through past the beginning of December. So there's plenty of time to come see us. We are open here in downtown Rock Island Monday through Saturday. The only thing you have to do is wear a mask when you come visit us. If you do come see us in Rock Island, be sure to say hello. I'd love to talk with you. You can follow Brandon on his social media, and you'll be able to check out his latest work there. You can see his Instagram and his Facebook page. The Facebook page is his personal page. They just recently launched his business page, so that'll be up as well. So take a look for that. As always, this is a team effort, so thank you to everyone at Quad City Arts who helped make this a reality. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and visit our website to learn more. Our next 7 with Kevin Live is going to be next Thursday, October 29th. We will be talking with Monty from Chicago Dance Crash. Chicago Dance Crash would visit us last year in person. Actually, I take that back, earlier this year in person, and are also part of our virtual educational resources on our Visiting Artist series. We're going to have a great conversation and learn what they've been doing during this time, as well as check out some of their great pieces. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next week on October 29th.